India will spend nearly $6 billion on sneakers by 2030. And here is the twist. For decades, almost all of that money went to foreign brands, the likes of Nike, Adidas and Puma. But today, there's a shift happening in the market.
Back then in 2012, there were four major brands which are dominating the Indian sneaker industry, which are widely Nike, Adidas, Puma and Reebok. Fast forward to today, there is this brand which is silently killing the market share of these mega brands. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of the world's third largest footwear brand, which is widely known as Skechers. So let's deep dive into how Skechers became one of the most prominent players in the Indian sneaker market.
Skechers.
Skechers.
Skechers. It's the S.
In the year 2025, Skechers did a revenue of 1,970 crores, holds a market share of 9%, generated a profit before tax of 197 crores, and in today's times, one of the Fortune 500 companies. In the financial year 2024, Nike did a revenue of 51 billion US dollars, Adidas did a revenue of 24.43 billion dollars, Puma did a revenue of 8.92 US billion dollars, and Skechers did a revenue of 8.97 billion US dollars. Talking about operating margin, which is the profit before tax as a percentage of revenue, Nike did an operating margin of 11.67%, Adidas did an operating margin of 5.68%, Puma did an operating margin of 7.39%, Skechers did an operating margin of 10.03%. Talking about the revenue in the financial year 2025, Nike's revenue declined by 10.87%, Adidas revenue grew by 19.14%, Puma's revenue declined by 1.49%, and Skechers revenue grew by 8.14%. So if you see, the most profitable company here is Nike, and then even Skechers is very profitable. Skechers is not spending that much on marketing, right? But Nike has spent so much on marketing. And how did Skechers come to a Nike level of profit? Let's understand point by point what are the things that Skechers did differently in order to gain its revenue, profits, and market share. The first critical success factors for Skechers is its distribution and supply chain. Skechers entered the Indian cluttered market of sneakers in the year 2012 with the help of a joint venture agreement with Future Retail Group. If you guys don't know, Future Retail Group is nothing but the group which is owning the chain of stores of Big Bazaar and Central back then in India. This is the first group which introduced the concept of malls and supermarkets in India. In this case, Skechers did not only get good visibility in front of public, but also it grew quickly due to the huge volume of stores that Big Bazaar and Central had in India. This is how Skechers introduced itself in the eye of Indian consumers and came in direct competition with the competitive brands like Nike, Puma and Adidas. By 2019, Skechers was so profitable in India that it brought back its remaining 49% stake in Future Retail at a premium price of 600 crores. When brands like Nike were focusing on Tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Delhi and Hyderabad, Skechers smartly expanded its outlets and partnerships in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities such as Ahmedabad and Nashik. This gave Skechers two major advantages compared to other brands. The first one is visibility to consumers, wherein the consumer can think Skechers as an option whenever he or she is buying an athletic or casual wear. The second thing is, by tapping into the market of Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, Skechers can target the growing middle class consumer population of India. Therefore, Skechers expanded its stores from 100 stores in 2017 to 420 plus stores in 2025. If that is very clear, let's go on to the next point. The second critical success factor for Skechers is the strategy of focus. Let's understand this strategy using the Porter's generic theory. So the Porter's generic theory says that there are three different strategies that an entity can apply in order to be successful in the market. So the first strategy is cost leadership. Cost leadership is nothing but selling your product at a very less price so that it can capture the market and it will create barrier to the entry. So creating barrier to entry means the other competitors will not be able to offer their product at such a low price that these companies are offering. The perfect example in this case is manufacturers like Bata, Campus and Power, who are selling their product at very less price. So this is also nowadays called the freemium model, which is being applied by many companies across the world, such as ChatGPT and the initial years when Geo launched. So what happens is like you can capture the market and you dominate the market due to your price and value that you provide in a particular product. Product differentiation is nothing but creating something unique and aspirational with the help of continuous innovation, marketing and technology. In this case, a perfect example of product differentiation is Nike due to its high quality and high aspiration among young adults to own a pair of Nike sneakers. Product focus is nothing but targeting a niche group of customers and creating something very unique in terms of brand story and product features. This is where Skechers as a brand fits in. Let us understand this with a practical example. Ashwin is an IT employee in Bengaluru who travels to office and back home daily. Ashwin does not have any time for any athletic or leisure activities but aspires to purchase a pair of sneakers which are comfortable and cool. Now, do you guys understand how important is comfort for Ashwin, who has to walk daily 1 to 2 kilometers per day? Further, where other brands were focused on running and lifestyle sneakers, Skechers produced and marketed sneakers especially for walking. This helps Skechers to tap in the niche market of the middle class casual and daily wear segment. The next critical success factor for Skechers is product standardization and quality. Where competitive brands like Puma and Adidas believed in mass manufacturing and mass distribution, Skechers on the other hand manufactured in optimum quantities as per the demand and did not flood the sneaker shoe market with its products. Instead, Skechers focused on the product quality, wherein the sneakers were designed in America and manufactured with strict supervision and oversight in terms of quality. The quality control team of Skechers is stationed full-time at factory sites in Vietnam and China in order to ensure high quality. If that is very clear, let's discuss our sponsor for today's video, which is the Young India IAS Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want your kids to become future civil servants and work in the government services, Young India IAS Academy is offering a 10-month course which is available for class 5 to class 12 students to train them in areas like public speaking, current affairs and aptitude. This course is available for a price of 1,700 per month, which will not only help your kid to crack government exams but help in overall development. To know more about the course, please go through the description below. The next critical success factors for Skechers is marketing. Where competitor brands like Nike were cutting down their expenditure on marketing in India, Skechers understood that even though how well your product is, marketing is the key to be in the visibility of the Indian public. Where competitor brands like Nike ended their sponsorship with the Indian cricket team as of 2026 and have cut down their marketing expenditure largely, Skechers signed a sponsorship deal with Mumbai Indians and endorsed Karthik Aryan, Jasprit Bumrah and Ananya Pandey for commercials. This is one of the major lessons that we can learn, that as a mass consumer brand, the visibility of a product is extremely important. As of 2026, Skechers had an estimated market share of 9% in the Indian sneakers market. The next critical success factors for Skechers is product positioning. Let us understand this with an example. Let us divide the Indian sneaker market into 4 types of customers. The first type of customers is the high utility and low aspiration customers. These are the customers who solely want a pair of sneakers for utility but do not have any aspiration to own it. A classic example of brands that sell these types of products are Campus, Bata and Power. So if you see, these are the products which are up to 2,000 rupees price bracket, and the target market is majorly the lower middle class market of India. The next category of customers is the high utility and medium aspiration customers. So if you look at these customers, these people do not only have high utility but have some medium aspiration to own a pair of sneakers. So brands which are targeting these types of customers are majorly Puma, Adidas and Reebok, which comes under a price bracket of rupees 2,000 rupees to rupees 5,000 rupees price bracket. If you carefully see, these brands are majorly targeting the middle class market of India. The next category of customers is the high utility and high aspiration customers. These are the customers who not only have high utility needs but also have high aspiration to own a pair of sneakers. This is where Skechers as a brand fits in, which is under a price bracket of rupees 5,000 rupees to rupees 10,000 rupees. Here the target market is majorly the upper middle class market of India. Skechers focused on this segment aggressively and did not reduce the price and quality of the product. This gave Skechers insane advantage in terms of product positioning, where the communication was clear that Skechers was not only a symbol of quality but also a symbol of pride and status. So if that is very clear, let's move on to the next critical success factors of Skechers, which is strict price discipline. So if you guys remember, the brands like Adidas and Puma came into the middle class category, and they believed in a strategy called mass manufacturing, mass marketing and mass distribution. So because of this mass manufacturing and mass distribution strategy, there is a huge pile up of unsold inventory, and due to this, the products are sold at a whopping discounts of 40 to 60%. Let us understand this better with an example. A Puma sneaker of rupees 10,000 is sold for rupees 4,000 in retail outlets at a discount of 60%. So when this happens, there are two main issues that a brand faces. The first issue is when your customer sees your product at a 60% discount, the customer no longer craves your brand, as your product is selling at huge discounted price, signaling poor performance of the brand. The second issue is your profit margin reduces significantly, as majority of your inventory is sold at heavily discounted price. Where brands like Adidas and Puma are giving up to 60% discounts throughout the year, Skechers only gave a maximum discount of 30%, that too for a limited period. This increased the aspiration of the Indian upper middle class consumers to own a pair of Skechers sneakers. Due to this, Skechers became a symbol of status and pride while offering value for money to the Indian consumers. The next critical success factors of Skechers is continuous innovation. With the help of continuous innovation, Skechers was able to offer style, comfort and quality at the same time to its consumers. Skechers designed the Go Walk series especially for the walking population and became an instant hit, targeting older adults and women. This is because the walking shoes were offering high levels of comfort, and where competitor brands like Adidas and Puma were focusing on selling running shoes, Skechers smartly designed its strategy on selling comfortable walking shoes. The other innovations of Skechers were particularly the Skechers slip-ins, which enabled customers to apply a hands-free approach while wearing and taking off their shoes. The Skechers Arch Fit, which was particularly designed for flat foot individuals for better grip and comfort, and the Skechers Go Run, targeting the young fitness enthusiasts of the country. Further, Skechers entered into a partnership with Goodyear Tires, which is the third largest tire manufacturer in the world, to manufacture rubber soles. This partnership with Goodyear Tires helped Skechers to target the market of factory workers and hikers. Do you understand how minutely Skechers was focusing on quality, brand and innovation? The partnership with Goodyear Tires did not only help Skechers to tap in another market of customers, but also helped it to boost its brand value by communicating its key focus on quality and innovation. That's all guys from my end today. If you learned something valuable, please do not forget to tell us in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in my next video.